Hey guys, welcome back to Shay's Urban Edibles. I'm Shay. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and keeping up with this gardening journey. If you're not new here, welcome back. What I wanted to do today was get 2 new raised beds set up, and then I also wanted to get some garlic and onions going and shallots. So come along. All right, so over the weekend, I did have a chance to put 2 new raised beds together for my garlic and onions. I ordered these raised beds on Amazon. They seem to be pretty sturdy. They also have the support in the middle, and they were decently priced and a different color than what I had in the garden. So I tend to like oranges and purple, so I decided to go with this orange because the purple I felt like might be a tad bit bright. I have decided to put one of them right here in this area, and then I have a second one that I'm going to put over there between the smaller bed that's similar to that size and then the bed where I have most of my brassicas. Let me show you guys. So I'm going to put the other bed there. So I want to get this area prepped for the raised bed. So I'll start by removing all of this grass with this weed eater. Hit it one more time with this weed eater. Then I have this 54-inch action hoe that I plan on using to scrape whatever's left up. So hopefully that'll keep it from growing back. But I believe these weed and grass seeds can be as deep as 6 inches into the soil. I definitely need to be on chip drive getting some wood chips. Oh, girl, don't have your egg already. All right, so for the most part, I removed most of the grass. There are still some weeds that are in here. I won't be able to get everything, but the idea is to remove as much as possible. What I will be doing now is using my handy dandy cardboard. Ooh, that's a workout. So I got this cardboard box, which is probably one of the packages that the raised bed came in. I have removed most of the tape and labels and stuff like that that probably won't break down. And I'm gonna use this as one. This cardboard is gonna be good for weed suppression. It is also good for attracting earthworms. And you know, earthworms help to aerate the soil, and they make the soil healthier. And so I'm going to use this recycled cardboard. And it's still recyclable too. Sure, I got some space to maneuver between the beds. Okay, I think that's the perfect spot for it. Let me grab my water hose because I want to wet this cardboard down. And then we can start adding the soil to this bed. But because either onions or garlic will go into this bed, I want to make sure the soil is light and fluffy. So I'm going to use 1/3 compost, 1/3 soil, organic soil, and then I'll also be adding in probably a little bit of peat moss to kind of give it that light and fluffy. So let me grab some soil. And I'll be layering it until this bed gets full. Start with this compost. Tighten that up. That's too big. Add my soil. Peat moss. Ooh. Another bag of compost. And I did find this compost over at the Tractor Supply the other day. I want to say it was last weekend. It was $3.99 a bag, and I was like, okay, why not? So this is my first time using this product. But I've never had any major issues with anything at Tractor Supply, and so hopefully there won't be any issues with this. I know they don't make the product, they just stock it, but still. One more bag of soil. compost on top. I'll mix it, and then of course I'll still be adding my amendments to this bed. It's in a lot of shade. I didn't think about that. Well, it is just 12 o'clock. Let's see if the sun's going to go any higher. All right, let's add some peanuts. A little more. All right. That's our 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So 1/3 compost, 1/3 peat moss, and 1/3 of regular organic soil. I'm going to mix all of this in, add my amendments, and then this bed will be ready for plant. I think that's an awesome texture. The bed is not as high as I would like it. So what I think I'm going to do is, let me see how many bags of compost I can do that. All right, so I only have 2 bags of compost left. I've got plenty of bags of the potting soil. So what I'm going to do is add another bag of potting soil and then add a little bit more of the peat moss to get this bed filled, a little more filled. Because I don't want to plant my onions or my garlic, then not like the level of the soil and try to come back and add more soil later. So I'm going to do it now. It's going to throw the 1/3 mixture off a little bit, but my bed will be as full as I like it. And I think with the texture of this soil right now, I think it'll still be okay, as long as I add a little more peat moss. So let me grab another bag of soil. That's how I like it. Nice and cool. One more. All right, and that should be more than enough. Let me use my fork. All right, let me add my amendments and we can get ready to plant. All right, so I am out of the 444. So I'm just going to amend it with my blood meal and my bone meal until I can get to the store to get some 444. Mix that into the first couple of inches of soil. All right, like I said, this bed is now ready for planting. I do believe we can move on to the next bed, which won't require as much work because there's already wood chips back there. I'll just have to lay down the cardboard and place the bed and mix the soil. All right, so this is my second bed. And I haven't decided whether or not I will be placing onions or garlic here. This one is a perfect size too. I could double it. I think I am. I think I am. All right, so because you guys saw me set the other bed up, I went ahead and set this bed up and added the necessary amendments, the fertilizers. I added bone meal, blood meal, And now I am going to sprinkle in my onion seeds. I have started some onion seeds over in some little 4-inch planters. I think I started them back in October, and none of them have sprouted yet. So I'm thinking that these seeds are probably old. What I do have, I still have some of the seeds left. The red burgundy and then the Texas grano. Well, the back of the seed packet says packed for 2025, sell by December 25th, 2025. So I don't know. I'm going to try to sprinkle these in here and see if they grow. Hopefully they will. You know what? Let me plant the shallots first because I want to put some shallots in here. And then I also have some, I think it's red long tropea onions that I bought on Etsy. Even though those onions are long day or intermediate day, I still wanted to give them a try just to see. So this is the garden bed that is going to get the most sun. This one will be exposed to sun all day. That one, on the other hand, is not going to get the sun until a little later in the day. And so I'm going to plant my garlic in that bed over there. So I'm going to stuff these in the soil real quick with the rooted end down. And it says that they should be planted a shallot's length since you're planting them in the fall. So I'm going to stick them in here until the top of my fingers in there. They need to be planted 3 inches apart at least. All right. That's a shallot's length. That's 3, 4, and this is the 5th one. That one went in kind of crooked. Now this one, the rest of this is going to be for the onion seeds that I have. Try to get some of these big chunks out since I'm going to be sprinkling seeds. If I sprinkle them a little too close together, what will happen is I'll come out and move them around once they sprout. That is, if they sprout. These are some big chunks of wood, and I wanted to keep my seeds from sprouting. All right, so let's sprinkle these onion seeds. This is a Texas grano. And then I also have, like I said, these red burgundy. This one takes 100 days to harvest. The Texas grano, I believe, were 115. Put those in. I want to water those in. Let me grab my water hose. Good job, Oreo. Oh, I'm sorry. Good job, JoJo. Oops, wrong setting. I probably blasted half of the seeds out just now. All right, that's what enough for now. I don't want to overwater them. One, because they're going to be in the ground for so long. They could root rot. I'll come out and put a label on the date that I planted those. I think onions take 7 to 14 days. If they haven't sprouted within 20 days, then I'm going to go ahead and drop something else in there. Probably a root crop, and then call it quits as far as trying to get onions because it's a little late, like I said. All right, so this is the bed I want to put my garlic in. I'm going to add sulfur to the top couple of inches. The sulfur is going to help with pest prevention, It's going to provide additional nutrients for the garlic to grow. And then also it helps with the flavor because you know sulfur is a major compound in garlic. And so that's what I'm going to do with this sulfur. Last year I dipped individual bulbs in the sulfur. This year I'm just going to add it to the entire bed. I don't want to add too much. Mix that in. Good job, Oreo. All right. So this garlic has been in the refrigerator since I purchased it, probably about, I want to say about 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a little longer. It's actually starting to separate. And so, like I said, it could be a little longer. I think it's the Italian purple and then the Nuka. So I'm going to plant these. And I'm leaving I'll plant them root end down. I'm going to leave the shell on because the shell or the peeling helps to protect the garlic. I'm not going to go through and separate well, I will separate each individual clove, but what I'm not going to do is pick out which cloves are the biggest because they're all getting planted. Stick those about 1 inch in. And about 2 inches apart. Oop, that's the wrong end. Stick one here in the middle. I'm going to make sure I don't run out of space. I still have 2 more whole cloves to go. Put one in there. Put one in there. Put one in there. One, two. Ooh, this is a nice size one. 3. It's a smaller one, so I'll put those right there. This one's feeling kind of soft. Yeah, that's no good. Maybe the hardest part about this planting was prepping the beds. Stuffing the garlic in is not an issue. Goes pretty quick, especially if you're not dropping each individual bulb in the bag trying to get sulfur on it. You just sprinkle the sulfur in the bed, it works out a whole lot quicker. Especially since we're short on daylight time now, since we fell back last weekend. Oh, that one kind of curved when I put it in there. I want it to go straight in. Those are some smaller bulbs. They're kind of long though. This is a nice one. Actually, that's two. That one in there. That one in there. I think I put the other one in upside down. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Double check myself. All right, so there was enough room for everything. No issues. Put that one in there. Hold up. Wait a minute. Is that upside down? Yes, it is. All right. All of the garlics are planted. I can water this in as well. I'm not going to give it a heavy watering. All right, folks, I appreciate you all for joining me on this quick process of planting the garlic and onions this year. If you guys have comments, questions, or suggestions, I'd appreciate it if you could leave it down in the comments. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd appreciate it if you go hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. That way you can keep up with this gardening journey. In the meantime, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.